Hi, welcome back. On the bench we've got the Acetronic MPU-1000 Home Video Entertainment Centre. It's a late 70s, early 80s console. Cartridge based. I actually have a couple of cartridges for it. I have this one which is Invaders, the other one is Horse Racing. I have powered it on. It fires up, but the RF signal's atrocious. But you can make out that the cartridge appears to have loaded. You can see bits and pieces on the TV, and you can see it reacting to button presses. You know, load program, game select, and start. So I think we'll have to focus on getting a signal on the TV first. There is a composite mod that can be done to this. I had a little look online. So it is possible. Just unplug the power. This actually provides, I think there's two voltages come for this, I think. I think there's a 5 volt and a 12 volt. I'd have to double check that. Controllers are built in. They're permanently fixed, which is a pain in the neck. And they've got their wee balls at the end, their wee caps missing. Should be easy enough to find something to screw onto there. And the RF cable. So I think first, let's get this thing opened up. Right. We've got what, 6 screws on the base. See. Okay. Let's have a quick look about the board. See what we can see. Try and zoom in a little closer. Right. Yeah, 5 volt and 12 volt. It's on the board there, I don't know if you can see it. It's actually printed on the board there and there. Right, well, probably as well removing the board. Have a better look. I actually have another machine I'm working on at the minute. It was in a proper mess. It was a Acetronic console, which actually uses the same processor and stuff, and video encoder and all the rest of it. But this thing was in a proper mess. I'm doing a video on it that I'm kind of stuck with at the moment. will be keeping going with it. It's just ideally I'd want to get another working version of it so that I can test it further. Right, okay. Short ribbon cable. I think I'll have to try and get the button board out so I can flip this over. That's where I've got a screwdriver small enough. I'll go and have a look and see if I've got a stubby that will maybe fit in there. Right. 3 more screws. I was able to actually just get them with a standard screwdriver. There was enough room at a slight angle. And these ones are easy enough. Right. Okay. Should be able to flip this over now, I think. Yeah, there we go. See the board and the components. Try not to wiggle it too much, I don't want any of these wires coming off. In fact, I'm going to take a little picture on the phone just in case multiples break off rather than guessing where they go. Okay, get this in shot. There's a tiny bit. Right. Okay, so the 2650, so that's the microprocessor, and that one will be the programmable video interface chip, I believe. The 2 Signetics ones. This one here, I believe, is the encoders for the video and stuff. Right. There's only a handful of caps on the board, so I may replace them. What I'll do first though is I'll try the composite mod that I found online. It's fairly straightforward. I think that's the first thing we'll do. We'll do that and see if we can get it up on the screen. And if it's clear enough, then great. We can just leave it at that. Right. Okay, make a start to that then. Right, before I go ahead with composite mod, I've noticed there was a bit of crud on the board, and then when I looked underneath this capacitor here, let's see if I can get this a bit closer. If you can see at the base of that, that's definitely been leaking. I'm not sure how clear that's going to be for you. But yeah, you can see, you should be able to see that. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'll just replace all the capacitors. They're all going to be the same age, so there's always a chance that on their last legs if they haven't already gone. So we'll start there, and then we'll move on to the composite mod. Alright, I'll check all these values and I'll see what I've got. Right, okay, I've had a wee look through my capacitors and I have the majority of them new. 2 values I didn't have, the 2200 and the 470. I had 470s but not at the same voltage rating. I think the highest this one I had was 10 volts, and I think it's a 16 volt that needs to go in. So, yeah. But I've tested the two pulled components on a component tester, and they're measuring fine, well within tolerance. So, right, let's just get started with removing them all then. We'll just start with this one here. One. Next one's here. Here. This is just going to be a repeat of that all the way through, so we'll come back once that's done. Right, well, that's them all removed. Well, right, you can see how bad that is, the leakage at the bottom there. Even at the top, there may have been some round edges there. Right. Right, so let's get these other ones in. Not sure how this one's going to sit, because the legs on here are quite short. And that one did sort of sit tilted over. I'm not sure if that was a space thing or not. Actually give this a bit of clean as well before I start. Just where the electrolyte had leaked. Brush. Right, not sure what happened there. I had a slight issue with the camera. But that's the first one soldered in. Another thing I'm going to have to make sure when I put the capacitor back in this, that red lead was connected to the outer leg, so I'll have to make sure I put that back. Right. So let's jump over to this side. The outer one there, that's a 10 microfarads. Let's see, should I get this right? 10 at 25 volts. And positive leg at this side. So one and next step is make sure I get this right. Look in this direction. That's how I did the wee diagram. And there's 116 volts. Okay, positive that side. Right, again, I'm going to skip forward, I'll get all these installed on the board and then I'll come back. Right, all the caps are in and I've got it hooked up to the TV, so let's see what happens when we switch it on. That doesn't look great, there we go. Game select, start game. So I'm going to start. Definitely not keen. Let's try restarting it again. Try reseating the game. And we'll go again. I'm sure there's a slight issue there. Oh no, there we go, that's the start, I think. Possibly a wee loose wire. I'm killed. Right, I definitely think I'm going to do the the composite mod on that. I think it's working. I just think the RF on my TV is absolutely terrible. The next thing, let's take the power out of here. There we go. Right. Okay, I'm going to have a quick refresher on what points for doing the RF mod, and we'll get that done. The RF, the composite mod. Right, back shortly. Right, okay, so replacing the caps, there was an improvement in output. to the TV through the RF, but it's still miles away. So the next step is going to have to be the composite mod. Hopefully that'll provide us with a clear image. So the first thing we'll need to do is disconnect these for the board. I'm going to get a couple of pictures on the phone, just so it's easy enough to reverse. Right. Okay, I'll just get these off. Right. Okay. Right, first things first is a resistor I need to remove. The other side of the board, and it goes from here over, I think this one here. It's easier to see, it goes in a diagonal. Just use a manual desoldering pump for this. Dirty. That was a wee bit warm. Right, okay, that's that off. Now it's a 22k variable resistor pot that they used on the mod. I don't have a 22k, but I do have a 20k, so hopefully that'll do the job. And I believe this leg connects to there. Just wondering the best way to do this. I'm going to use a bit of wire and extend the length of that. Stick that through there. solder in advance, I think. Work of this. Try and lay this down like that. Just get some wires prepped for connecting the rest. I've just taken the ends the other end of an existing cable and just stripped the wires and tinned them here for connecting to the board. Just need to use a multimeter just to check what one will be the centre pin. And this one's for the audio and red centre, so blue will be ground. Right. Zoom out a tiny wee bit. It looks like it's this one here. Just double check for a ground that's a bit closer. Down. Where that ground goes. There's one there. Oh, that's not quite going to reach down. Right, I'm going to have to extend this wire. Go again. That one up there. This one can go on the ground here. Just going to trim that off a little. That should be okay for that. Now, the other one, again, use the meter to check which one's the centre pin. So brown is the centre pin, blue is the ground again. Right, this one's connecting directly into here. Do this a bit cat-handed. That's that one. Okay. Right. That should be that. That's out the way. Right. I'll get this all plugged in and then we can give it a test. Right, before we actually go any further, I'm going to add a wee bit of shrink tube to those legs and the pins. Just to be sure that when the case is put back together they're not bloody shorting. So, just get my soldering iron back up to temp. I'll probably slip a bit on each of those two wires as well, just to be sure. Not too concerned about the other two. Also just going to tape these wires off and just stick them back underneath the ones from the RF unit. There's no power going in there, so I'll just tape that like that, stick it away. I'm also going to take I'll have to take the board back out to do it, but I'll desolder the RF cable. I'm going to remove that for here and I'm going to feed those through so they're coming out where the RF cable used to be. Right, that's the iron up to temp. So I think if I just pop that off, shrink tube. I think that should be enough for this one, I think. Yeah, that should be perfect. And bend the wire over. Choose the soldering iron to shrink that. Oh, that's come off. There we go, that's solid. To be fair, I think the other two should be okay. I'll maybe just add a spot of hot glue before I put it all back together. Right, I'll zoom out and let's see if we can get this a bit of a test. Have the other end of the cables hooked up to the TV. Not sure exactly how well you're going to see this. I use this small one just for testing. Should still be in shot. Yeah, that's fine. Turn that light slightly. Right, so plug a game in first. Invaders. That's that in. And find a power cable. There we go. Okay, that's that in. Stay. Right, see what happens when we power it up. Absolutely nothing. Okay, make sure that's on. Yeah, that's definitely on there. Ah. Oh. Okay. It's powered off. Alright. Plug this. That wire's come off. Need to add a touch of solder here. Obviously not quite enough. Try that again. This time. Okay, that's secure now. Power back in. And that looks good actually. Game select's working. Press start. Go. Bit awkward because I'm having to hold this up. Oh, this must be player 2. Oh, yep. Back to player 1. I'm just going to get killed here, and I can test player 2. Right. Okay, switch that off a sec. Yeah, I think that's going to be good to go. That looked okay to me. I think the fire button on controller 2 seemed to have a wee bit of an issue, but I'm not really sure because I was having to stretch over and blindly press it. So I'm just going to stuff that up the end there, I think. Help jam the wires in. Stuff this one in here. I mean, I could just take these wires off completely, but I think the only way it can go back to being original would be if we keep all that intact. Let's get this monitor out of the way. I'm just going to strip, a bit awkward, that's the bloody centre wire. No, still. Let's strip them apart. And just set that aside. I'm only needing these two. Right. Okay, I think the first thing I'm going to get is get the hot glue, and then we'll position these wires because they're going to be coming out over here. I think I'll hot glue them in place first. Try and do this without burning my fingers. It's the tiniest bit of hot glue. Yeah, I'm feeling that. Cool. Get the stringy bit once it's cooled down. Or not. It's not going to move through there. Get the power first. Board out, I think I'll desolder this RF wire. So I can remove it. off this. I suppose I can actually remove that altogether, I think, and just keep it aside. Back again, my phone went off there. Right, so that's that removed. I'll just keep that aside and I'll store it beside the machine. So so you can see what I'm doing. So I've got a nice big split in the wire there. I can't remember if you squeeze these or try that out or that's it. That wire's got a big split there anyway, so I'm just going to trim that there. I'm still got to get this out though. Finally managed to get that off, and that's these wires fed through the back now, so it's quite neat. Just gonna tape these down here, and get the back on. Make sure I get this right. This way. Seems fine. bunch of hot glue to there for extra strain relief. Okay, we can go for another test, I think. It's a horse racing game before I try it. Just give the pins a bit of a clean, just to be sure. Bring the TV into shot once I switch it on. That's that. Right. Power on. Right. Seems to have loaded up the game just fine. But if I move the console over to here, that looks okay. Select game and start. Of course, I've not got a clue what you're supposed to do. Oh, you're supposed to jump. Well, I think you're supposed to jump. Okay. Yeah. No keen on that. Back to good old invaders. Right. Load program, game select, start. I'm playing this looking at the screen I'm recording on, so it's a bit tricky, shall we say? Yeah, player 2. Yeah, not keen on these controls. And dead. Right, well, I'll definitely say it's working. A nice clean picture on the screen. So I think we can definitely call that a fix. back. Gave the machine a nice clean. I think it's pretty much as good as it's going to get. As for the machine itself, I don't think I could ever get used to the non-centering joysticks. Really not a fan of that. The repair went well though. Replacing those capacitors made a difference, and then with a composite mod, I was getting a nice clear picture, so I'm happy with that. Definitely one for adding into the collection nonetheless. I'm not sure I'll play it much, if at all. Okay, so if you liked this video, please click the thumbs up, and if you want to see more like it, then please do subscribe to the channel. That would be much appreciated. And I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.